Stop falling for playlist promotion scams. Hey, it's Chris Greenwood here, also known as Manifest. I've got nearly 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and I'm added to about 2,400 to 4,000 playlists every day. But here's the thing. They're not editorial, they're not algorithmic, they're user-created playlists made by real fans. And today I'm breaking down the only legit way to get your music onto Spotify playlists without getting scammed or wasting money. So many artists are desperate to rack up streams. They fall for fake promotion services or land on random playlists that don't fit their sound. If you ever want to check to see if a playlist is legit, you can always go to submithub.com and they've got a playlist checker so you can see if it's botted or if they're doing payola so you can steer clear of it. But let's be real, okay? If you're a punk rock artist, being on a Christian worship playlist is not going to help you. If you're an alt rock, you don't want to be on a classic rock, that playlist isn't going to be helpful either. Can you imagine being a punk rock artist and opening for a Christian worship band? You need the right audience to match your streams. Otherwise, they're useless and they're short-lived. In chapter 1 of my book, Playlist Profits, I go over the 3 types of Spotify playlists, and I want to go over those right now with you. Number 1, there's editorial playlists. These are curated by Spotify's internal team. Hard to land, they're unpredictable, and they usually require a label push, but you can still get on them. I just got on one recently of my new song. It was about 45th or 50th on the playlist. Sometimes I'm added higher. The way you get on those is with the pitching tool in your Spotify artist dashboard. I always fill this out and I always pitch whether I get on the editorial playlist or not because it triggers the release radar, which is playlist number 2, is the algorithmic playlists, okay? And these are generated by Spotify's AI based on listening behavior like Release Radar, Discover Weekly, Radio, My DJ. They'll always be curating more playlists, but you want to make sure that you are pitching every new song that you release to the Release Radar, whether you get on an editorial playlist or not. And then there's the third type of playlist, which is user-created playlists, okay? These are the most accessible and powerful for independent artists. These are made by fans, curators, and even for you and by you, okay? I have 3 curated playlists that I'm on and that I also add other artists on and their songs on. I'm a curator on Submit Hub, Playlist Push, Groover, and this is how I promote my songs. I run ads to these, as I'll be sharing shortly. Now, let's jump into chapter 2, which is the playlist advantage. Here's why playlists are the cheat code. When someone listens to your song, that's one play. But when someone listens to a playlist with your song on it, they're likely to keep listening and then you 10x more streams more easily. Because if you just go right to the one song, they could be on shuffle mode and then get shared or recommended a completely different song. But if you're on a playlist, this gives you more streams because they start to listen to more streams. Playlists also give you more social proof, okay? If you're on a playlist, like some of my playlists have thousands of followers and saves, and so that looks more legit, and it's just so much better to promote your song on a playlist because you will get more streams, not just of the one song, but all the other songs that are yours on the playlist. Chapter 3, we talk about building a playlist that works, okay? And so the first thing is to have cover art that matches your genre. But then you also want to have a title that can be memorable, not just best hip hop or, top rap hits or top rock hits. Try something like Pray or Die, rock anthems for the unstoppable. That's what one of my playlists was before it was like best Christian rock. Pray or Die, rock anthems for the unstoppable, or have some type of cool theme. Jump into ChatGPT and type in and get them to give you a whole bunch of ideas. The next thing you want to have is a really great track list. Okay, you want to make sure you include your music. I always have at least 2 of my songs at the very top, all right? Because I'm going to be sharing later about how we run ads to that playlist. Well, I want 2 of my songs to be at the top, and then I have 3 or 4 other artists that are in my genre, and then I have another one of my songs, and I have 4 or 5 other songs from other artists, and then I have another one of my songs. But here's the sneaky little trick here, okay? When you are promoting this playlist and fans are listening to your song and they're listening to the other songs on the playlist, Spotify starts to group you together and the algorithm loves that. So if your song is getting played behind these other artists, let's just like Bruno Mars, Linkin Park, Adele, Drake, whoever your genre, your style is, right? It's going to start to group you among those other artists. And so you'll be a part of that fans also listen like. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you're promoting this, you got some of the top artists in your genre that you would probably want to open for on tour. Well, you're opening for them on Spotify. Chapter number 4, we talk about promoting your playlist for free. And what's so cool about promoting a playlist is you don't have to be pushy. Okay, instead of saying listen to my song, you're saying, hey, here's a killer punk rock playlist I made, or here's a killer classical rock of all the best classical songs, or whatever your genre is, right? And you can share that out. You're saying, hey, go check out this restaurant, as opposed to come and eat at my restaurant. It's more referral, it's more sharing. It just comes across way more cool, right? And then you can also pin this playlist to your Spotify profile, all right? You can share it on socials. You know, one thing that we do is if you want to post it on your social media and just say, you know, go listen to this playlist, you can say, hey, what songs on this playlist do you think I should add? Right? Now you can also go into Facebook groups and Reddit subgroups and look up, you know, genres, like groups based on your genre, and share the playlist in there. Hey, check out this playlist. It just so happens to have your songs on it too, as well as all these other songs of other bands, right? And so it's like free promotion. Chapter number 5, we talk about promoting your playlist with meta ads, okay? I'm running ads 24/7 to promote my playlist. While I sleep, while I work, while I'm in the bathroom, while I'm recording this video, I have ads going nonstop. And you don't need a huge budget, you know. I start off with like 5 to 10 a day, and then you can scale up to 30, 40, 50, 80, $100 a day, whatever your goal is, right, as far as streams. But I suggest you make it a goal to hit 1,000 followers on your playlist, because once you hit that, then you're not begging curators for placements anymore. You can then apply to become a curator. So you actually get paid to listen to music. And then now you have an ad budget so that you can put it back into promoting your playlist while growing your fan base for free. How rad is it that you get paid to listen to your music? You now have an ad budget to grow your fan base. But the minimum requirement to becoming a curator is 1,000 followers or saves. I listen to about 10 to 15 minutes of music a day, and I've made thousands as a curator, and I've reinvested that money right back into ads to promote my songs on my playlists, and it's like an evergreen promotion strategy. Chapter number 6, and there's something really cool that happens. You trigger the Spotify algorithm. Once your ads are working and your playlist is generating real plays, you start to see more saves, more user playlist ads, and then comes Spotify's algorithm like Discover Weekly, Release Radar, Radio, and DJ start to take notice. This happens about 30 days plus into the campaign, and so Spotify starts to see like, whoa, this song is getting saves. They're listening to this song all the way through. They're sharing it. They're adding it to their playlists, right? They're not skipping it, or it's a very low skip rate, and so Spotify starts to say, okay, out of these like 500 people or 100 people that have listened to this song, let's find another lookalike audience like this and let's share it out via our Release Radar, Radio, and DJ. So what I noticed, and I talk about this in chapter 7, which is the real case studies, is I was promoting my song Teardrops, okay? And we were only getting about 200 streams a day on this song. We started running ads, and in about 30 to 45 days, all of a sudden sudden we jumped to 2,000 plus streams a day. But what was really interesting is the first couple of weeks, I looked in my Spotify dashboard, okay, your artist.spotify.com dashboard, and I could see that the first couple of weeks, most of the streams were coming from the playlist that I was promoting. Okay, because that's where the song was. But then after 3 to 4 weeks, and definitely into 5, all of a sudden I started saying, whoa, I'm getting a lot of streams from radio. I'm starting to see streams from Discover Weekly and My DJ. And this because all of a sudden Spotify was like, hey, this kid's put some work in and he's promoted this playlist. I trigger the algorithm, Spotify now starts to give me streams. So this is what I've heard the director of Spotify marketing say. Artists that are getting really successful on Spotify are the ones that are hustling and promoting their songs, and then Spotify takes notice and then they take the song further, okay? And so what Spotify really needs is it needs data. But I'll say this, good marketing only makes a bad song fail faster. But it's not always about best song, it's about best known song. All right, I had a really great song. It was a rock song, and this is in the case study as well too, for my song Save You. It's got about 6 million streams. I recorded it at home with a bed sheet over my head and just a SMB7 Shure microphone because it was during COVID. And this song really took off, but I still wanted it to go bigger, but I couldn't get my ad creatives to work. I couldn't get it to work on ads, even though we had success at radio and different places. And yeah, sure, it'd been doing well, but I wanted it to do better. And so what did we do? I started testing more ads, started trying even more ad creatives because I wanted my cost per click to be as low as possible so I could spend more money promoting this song. And after like 20 plus creatives, we finally got one that crushed it. But this is the problem. So many of us give up too soon. You know, we're so close to our goal and then we quit. Or we stop and we start and we stop and we start. And if this is you watching this video and you're still in this game, this is your sign that you should keep going. This is your sign that you should get back in the game and start promoting those songs. I don't care how old they were. That song Teardrops was 3+ years old. You know, if I still own some of my older songs, I'd be using those older songs to promote my new songs, okay? It might be old to you, but it's not old to the millions and billions of people out there. Chapter 8. Turn your playlist into a paycheck. So one of the goals that I really teach my students, and in this book, Playlist Profits, I'll put the link below so that you can pick up a copy of this and get the audio book too. But once you hit 1,000 followers, you don't want to just rush and apply to SubmitHub or Playlist Push or all these other different places, okay? You want to wait 15 to 30 more days and keep running your ads. Keep promoting this playlist because it takes time for Spotify to index your playlist. It takes time for the data to really show up that, hey, these are where the streams are coming from. Because it's not just about a playlist that has followers, it's a playlist that has engagement. And I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that have gotten onto a playlist and it had thousands of followers, but they got barely any streams. Well, this is the thing. These different curator hub type places, they don't want just followers. They want to know that there's proof of engagement. They want to know if someone's paying for you to listen to their song and then maybe you like the song so you add it. Because remember, you're not getting paid to just add someone's song. You're getting paid to listen to the song and then you decide whether you want to add it or not. And you don't have to add it if it's not good or if it's not great enough, okay? So we don't do payola. We stay away from that stuff. But they want to know that your playlist can generate streams. Otherwise, why are people trying to get on it? And what about you? Maybe you've applied to different places and you got on a playlist and you got barely any streams. Well, we want to be the playlist that generates a lot of streams, okay? Once you're accepted, you can then get paid to review music in your genre. You can build real industry connections and you can actually find other artists that you might want to collab with. I've literally DM'd some artists. I've been like, where the heck did you guys come from? Let's collab sometimes, right? And you're doing this while making money to promote your music. So it becomes this self-funding evergreen marketing machine, okay? I dive deeper into all this stuff in my book, Playlist Profits. And before you drop another track on Spotify, you want to make sure you watch this video up above.